So one of the most amazing things that I have the privilege of doing as a professor at Moody Bible Institute is taking my students to the land of the Bible to teach the Bible on location. As we're there, we travel from north to south, from Dan to Beersheba. We go from one sea to another, and Israel is surrounded by 4 bodies of water. One's at the head, the Sea of Galilee. One is red. One is the Med, and the 4th one is dead. We travel beyond the 4 seas and toward every border, and where we go, we're meeting people, we're visiting biblical sites, we're reading the Bible, and we might be reading a travel guide in another hand. We're seeing how all of this fits together, both the ancient world and the modern world. But one thing that I've noticed that people like to do, even when they're on these biblical studies tours, is they like to stop and eat. And while they might be excited to see an occasional set of golden arches and a familiar taste of home, a lot of people like trying something new, tasting things they've never had, seeing dishes they've never observed before. And Israel's a great place to do that because Israel itself is a melting pot of cultures. There are Middle Eastern Jews whose ancestors have lived in this land since antiquity. And there are other Middle Eastern immigrants to Israel from Arabic-speaking countries. There are Eastern European Jews, and there are those from the United States. And people have brought their various dishes with them. They've contributed to the explosion of cultures that come on the scene in the various Israeli restaurants. And people enjoy stopping, not just for a bite to eat, but to sample the culture and meet the people and to taste things they've never tried before. So, as I think of one of the most amazing things about Israel, I think about its culinary variety. I've had the privilege of leading more tours to Israel than I can count. I lived there as a student for my junior year of college back some years ago, and now I have the privilege of taking students from Moody each year to experience the land on their own. As they do, we expose them to these vast varieties of cultures, and we expose them to their foods. As we think about some of the tastes of Israel, I'd like you to picture with me, if you will, a vast array of colors, of spices, of foods that are hot and those that are cold, of those that are spicy and those that are more bland, but all kind of coming together on the plate. Sort of an array of colors and textures that one might experience. And so some time ago, I was asked to write a piece for tourist purposes, but biblical introduction to the land, but also an updated, modern experience of what one might experience when they go to the land and taste its culinary delights. So I wrote a piece called A Culinary Tour of Israel. And I'd just like to share a few things that might whet your appetite for a trip of your own. So I think about some of the experiences that people have, especially when they picture the world of the Bible. Maybe they think of the Negev in the south, of going through what looks like a rocky, sandy desert. And you're there in the heat, and you see these signs about camels being near the road, and you might get to ride a camel yourself. You're out there in the desert, and now it's time to cool off a bit after a desert hike. Well, one of the fantastic beverages that I don't know why we don't sell here is called lemonana. Lemonana means something like lemon and mint. And in Israel, they commonly will take lemonade, fresh squeezed, of course, blend it with ice and mint, and this comes about into this beautifully, icy, slushy type drink that is unlike anything you've ever had in the United States. They might even put a little sprig of mint leaf on the top. And can you imagine if you've been out riding camels in the desert or traipsing over some set of rocks early afternoon in the heat of the day? Lemonade, that's like #1 special treat. Better than any soft drink. Just hits you right where you need it. I also think of the fact that not everyone travels to Israel in the heat of the summer. Some go on trips in the wintertime and find that, wow, it's colder than they thought, especially up in the Jerusalem hills where the elevation is a little higher and it can even snow. One year, one of our trips got completely out of order because it snowed like crazy all over the hills of Jerusalem, and buses were just not moving. Cars were sliding off the road, and people were freezing cold. They didn't bring big coats to the Holy Land. That's just not what they were expecting. And so, you need a warm beverage. You need something to take off the chill. And there's something called sachlav. Sachlav, oh, so delicious. It's, again, unlike anything you ever taste in the United States. It's sort of this milky based, but it's made with rose water and coconut, and it often has a mixture of cinnamon and maybe some white grape raisins and some walnut and just maybe a bit of topping with pistachio. And then while it's all perhaps layered in the clear glass mug, you'll want to take your spoon and mix all of that together, and it's almost like eating some soft oatmeal / drink, but it definitely takes off the chill. Sachlav, fantastic on a winter day. But it's not just the beverages, whether it's hot or cold. Let's think about a variety of consistencies and flavors. One of the most common dishes that can be added to any meal is hummus. At least that's the way people refer to it here in the States. Hummus in Israel. But this variety of, well, chickpeas or garbanzo beans, add a little garlic, a little lemon juice, a little olive oil, blend this all together. You're going to get this wonderful mixture that, again, it's based upon chickpeas. And the German word for chickpea is, well, instructive on this. They call it something like happy beans. And apparently that's what it does for people. One medical professional, dietitian, wrote some important article saying that hummus or chickpeas actually makes people feel better and improves their mood. Perhaps this is the reason there's so much peace in the Middle East. But not just chickpeas. How about another additional dish? I think of falafel, because they may often be served together. And people take these ground, spicy, yes, chickpea again, but also you add numerous other green spices to it, and then you make a little ball and deep fry the falafel. The falafel then comes out nice and warm, and you might put a special sauce on it made with garlic and lemon juice called tahina, and sesame paste and the like. And you might even dip all of that in your hummus or hummus. This is a common dish, almost like someone might think of the United States and hot dogs and hamburgers for fast food. In Israel, maybe it's hummus and falafel and the like. Well, one can't think about the culinary experience in Israel without thinking of the numerous salads. The salads are also very common. I was thinking about this as I had breakfast here in the States today, and in Israel, you just wouldn't have breakfast without having some sort of chopped salad, whether it's tomatoes and cucumbers, maybe add some onions, a little bit of lemon juice and some olive oil. This is just very common to the entire culinary experience. But you know, Israel's scriptures invite people to consider an even more important opportunity. I'm reminded of the psalm that says, "Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the man who trusts in him." All of this variety of experience, as one might have in the land of Israel, in the end makes you think, who could have made something so amazing? And it always turns my attention back to the God, not who made the dish you ate, but the one who made the earth such an interesting place and filled it with his good gifts. Sometime, maybe you should experience it for yourself.